much their time, their creativity, and their talent is worth, and then they will sign a contract with 50% down, that right away the vendor gives them the 50% so they can buy their supplies and they can start to, provide for their families. And then as soon as they are done, they get the other 50%, so they're paid up front, a fair wage for their lovely work. Fair trade also uses sustainable materials, so that, and their things are done in an environmentally friendly way. So it takes the environment into consideration. There's no child labor, no sweatshops, and it's all about building relationships, because the vendor builds a relationship with the artisan and to help them and have a continuing relationship with them, to help them to support their families and to provide a global marketplace for the beautiful items that they create. Glad to see that fair trade is taking off, that there are, in the last 15 years, there's been so many more fair trade stores, and I think people are are understanding the concepts of fair trade and how when they shop in a fair trade store that they are really making a difference in the life of that artisan and for their family and for their community. Plowshare Center was the very first fair trade store in all of Wisconsin.
Oh, wow.
And we've been in business for almost 24 years. And I'm delighted to see that other fair trade stores are starting to pop up.
What would you say?
What do you mean by globalization?
Do you think that fair trade is going to globalize? Like, is it going to become a bigger, as more people going to use it?
I think as more people understand fair trade, that more people are going to be shopping fair trade. And I think of shopping fair trade as shopping with a conscience, because they know that the artisans are being paid a fair wage. They know that they're using environmentally sustainable materials and everything. And so I think that fair trade is something that is going to continue to grow. Another thing about fair trade, though, is I think it makes people feel more of a connection to the products, because if you buy something in a large store like Walmart or Target or Boston Store or Penny's or Sears, you don't really feel a connection with the artisans. But I think when you go to a fair trade store and you find out the background information about the products, about where they're from, about the people that create them, that then you feel more of a connection to the products, and you feel a connection to that artisan far away. I think when you come to a fair trade store, you realize that these are very unique items, and I think that you select things more carefully because you're really taken in by how things are made and the idea that they are handmade, and I think that makes you choose things that are special rather than just buying randomly. I think that there are a lot of safeguards in place. For example, there's the Fair Trade Federation as just one organization, and there are many others that certify that items are fair trade. They will actually go and check to make sure that they're that the people are getting a fair wage, that they really are, that the vendors are making that they are making fair deals with the artisans. They'll make sure that there are no sweatshops, there is no child labor, that they are using environmentally sustainable practices. So there are organizations that do check on those things. Yes, we do have some advertising, in the newspaper, but not very much. Our advertising is more word of mouth. We, of course, are on Facebook, and we want you to like us on Facebook. But it's more of having people, come to the store and have a personalized shopping experience, and telling their friends about it. We don't have a budget for advertising, a big budget for that. We are a nonprofit.
Okay.
Aware of fair trade until about 10 years ago. And once I found out about it, I was amazed at the idea of fair trade and shocked that I hadn't heard about it earlier. But I started out by being invited to serve on the education committee at Plowshare, and that's when I started to learn more about fair trade. The education committee sets up programs that we have, like speakers and workshops and forums and film festivals and things like that on issues of peace and social justice. But then I found out more, of course, about the shop and learned more about the principles of fair trade. And I always thought of myself as being pretty knowledgeable and definitely worldly. I've been to 63 countries, but yet I didn't realize about fair trade. And so since I found out about it, I've been trying to share information. I speak a lot at different groups, for women's groups and church groups and and things like that, to be able to tell people about it. And once people learn about fair trade, they're very excited to support the concept. Sustainable materials. Like, for example, the beautiful jewelry made out of the tagua nut, like the necklace that I'm wearing, the tagua is a tree that grows in the rainforest in Ecuador. And of course, we've all heard about how the deforestation of the rainforest. But when people find out that they can make money by collecting the tagua nuts rather than chopping down the trees, it helps to save the rainforest. And so the rainforest, of course, helps to keep our planet healthier. Also, a lot of things are made out of recycled materials, so we're not creating new things, such as our purses that are made out of recycled inner tubes of tires, and reusing materials like the purses made out of recycled sari silk, and we've got other tote bags made out of recycled rice bags from Cambodia, and things like that. I think when you're reusing materials, repurposing them, that also helps to cut down on the creation of new things, and so it helps to keep our planet healthy. For example, the paper that's made out of elephant dung, it's called Mr. Ellie Poo paper, I think is a great example about something like that. So this story comes from Sri Lanka, which is near India, and what happens is that as they are clearing the land for agriculture, they are taking away some of the elephants' natural habitats. So the elephants come out of the wooded areas foraging for food, and they end up in the farmers' fields. Well, of course the farmers are annoyed because, the agriculture is their livelihood. So they shoot the elephants. They don't kill them because they want their ivory tusks. They don't kill them because they want to eat their meat. They kill them just because they're a nuisance. Well, I personally think having a dead elephant in the middle of your field would be a problem. But at any rate, some enterprising person made this amazing leap. They thought, okay, paper is made out of plants. It's made out of papyrus. It's made out of trees. And so, well, elephants are vegetarians. So elephants eat only plants. So the elephant eats the plants, and then it's digested in their bodies, and it comes out as dung. So why not collect the dung and put it through a special process where you can have all of those plant products, and then they just add recycled paper scraps, paper scraps that they can recycle, and then, so this paper is made out of 50% elephant dung and 50% recycled, scraps of paper, and so no new trees were cut down to make this beautiful paper product. And the paper is acid-free, and it's just really got a great consistency to it, and no, there's no smell. But so I think this is another example of something that's good for the environment that's done, and it's a fair trade product.